Yo, what's going on, guys? Sam Adams here, and we have a bit of a different video for you today. Of course, if you are actually watching live, number one, thank you so much for taking the time to check out this video, but of course, this is actually a live stream. I'm considering doing more of these because I've been trying to stream more on Twitch from time to time, but I can't do it every day, and so I thought that it might be a better way to go about live streaming, actually playing some games for you guys, to have just the occasional Let's Play up on youtube.com/SamuelAdamsMedia to kind of, you know, switch things up a bit and try something new. Of course, today, a very big surprise for all of the Call of Duty fans out there, including myself, because this weekend was the closed alpha for, of course, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, a big game for 2019, and we were expecting the servers to go live on Friday, the 23rd, and run through the 25th, but it seems like they have gone live just a bit early, so you can actually dive in to Gunfight right now, which is the 2v2 mode that is going to be coming to this year's Call of Duty, a very awesome addition to the game. And of course, going to be fantastic for the competitive scene, for those that are into that, for those that want a bit more, you know, strict guideline whenever it comes to how they play the game, what they do when they play the game, etc., etc. A very good time nonetheless. I've been enjoying my time with the game so far. It has been a bit of a tumultuous day because I had to completely reconfigure my network settings for the PS4 in order to play without lag, which is, you know, kind of imperative when it comes to having a good gameplay experience. But we got all of that handled. Anyways, enough of my talking. I figure we'll go ahead and dive into the gameplay to make sure that we've got it. If I can find it, let's go ahead and get to it. Let's try it again. That's not it either. I guess I didn't make a hotkey for that one. Who would have thought that I would have jacked that one up that bad? Welcome to the live stream, ladies and gents. Welcome to the live stream. But of course, let's go ahead and dive into some of this crispy gameplay. Now, I will say right out of the gate, I'm very impressed with how tight the game plays, how well it plays. It's a very, very impressive Call of Duty game overall. I think that it's pretty much one of the tightest iterations in the entire franchise. And I know that I keep saying that and throwing that word around, but truly, it feels like Call of Duty Ghost on steroids. It is, quite frankly, that intense. Now, for those that don't know how Gunfight works, essentially you have a pre-configured loadout that is randomly generated, or I suppose not randomly generated, but it is generated at the beginning of the match by the computer, and so you can't change any of your guns. So for those that come in and say, why are you using these god-awful guns? I assure you it's not because I want to. I would never put a scope on a shotgun, as we just saw. But it does give players of the Open Alpha a chance to kind of dive in and see if it's something they might want to get into. You know, they can kind of test out all the various weapons, and of course, each one rotates out after 2 rounds. So you get a brand new loadout after just a couple of seconds. Not that big of a deal. So if you have something you don't like, you don't have to worry about it that much. You're good to go. Oh. Oh, God, man. I thought that I lost one of my guys and their guys. I didn't know there were still 2 of them left. So, yeah. Now, in this weekend's Open Alpha, there are 5 different maps, and of course, it's 2v2. So, a bit of a different situation as compared to your traditional kind of, team deathmatch setup like we kind of expect from a Call of Duty game. You know, I'm really, really bad at the game at the moment. But to go ahead and give us something new, a different kind of gameplay, I think is a pretty good move overall. Especially a game mode that kind of allows you to test out the waters and see what exactly is happening when it comes to the, you know, flow of the game mechanics. It's a really good taste tester, I guess, is the best way to put it. But regardless, woo, baby. That deagle, man. That deagle. What is happening here? Oh, what were you doing? The dude with the shotgun's just to the side blowing my head out. But hey, guess what? Didn't impact me on the slightest bit. See, I love those melee animations, too. That changes the game. I feel like the entire franchise has gotten really stale over the years. And I think you see that too with the overall satisfaction from the fan base. People just don't like Call of Duties like they used to. you know? And so whenever you're looking at the future of the franchise, of course, competitive, a big part of the overall experience. Yeah, but in addition to that, you also have so many people that are just trying to get something new. And of course, with the rise of PUBG, with the rise of Battlefield even, I would say, to a more prominent stance in the community, you do have more people that don't mind a more hardcore kind of experience. And I think that's pretty cool to see. Nice. Give me the other one, give me the other one. Woo! I don't have another gun. I don't have another gun. Nice. My dude came in from the side. We got it, baby. Let's go. We got it, baby. Let's get in there. Not too shabby. I also like the fact that the kill cams are cleaner. In my opinion, the past few iterations have kind of, I don't know, not necessarily made things look more cluttered, but there's definitely too much going on the screen at one time, in my opinion. Ooh, we got that. Is he still back at spawn? Nope. Got it, baby. All right, we're getting in there. We're getting ready to go. I'm ready for it. The MP5 is by far one of the best guns in the game. And then there's another one. It starts with an O. I can't remember. Let's go, baby. Not sure what that was. Is he coming in from the side, from the back? Oh, let's go. Oh, shit. That's what I'm saying, man. If you can clamp down that headshot, get those initial points of hit. They call them hit points. Ooh, the Odin. Yeah, this is the one that I like. This one's got a pretty cool feel to it. Now, I will say the Odin is a slow-firing assault rifle, and that definitely makes for an interesting gameplay experience, to say the least. And it doesn't rev up with time either. That's another thing that I want to mention. Like, it doesn't build up any. It just continuously shoots at the same exact rate. All right, so we got one. Oh, my man came through. My man came through. And that's another thing. Once you really get good on the sticks, going back from keyboard and mouse to controller is kind of natural, honestly. Like, I'm kind of really not that bad, shockingly enough. Of course, the first couple of moments of gameplay might not necessarily show you that. But it shows me that. Never mind. I'm still really, really bad. It's perfectly fine. It's all right. Sometimes whenever you're getting a little cocky, the game just comes in and just hands it to you. But now is the break point. Now is whenever the time comes to really prove yourself in the world of Call of Duty. And that's a good place to be. That's a good place to be. Oh god, I hate this gun so much. I absolutely loathe this weapon. Oh, come on, man. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure you can actually mount things as well. Now, why would you put a bouncing Betty at the back of the map? What good is that going to do you? All right, let's see what my man does. Let's see what my man does. I think he's over in the little hut, the one across the way there. Oh, also, cool mechanic. You'll be able to see it right now. Whenever you run out of time in the match, you either can kill whoever is remaining or capture the flag in the middle. A lot of people don't capture the flag in the middle. They just kind of go for whoever's remaining. Hey, yo, what's going on, man? Yeah, no, I'm just hanging out. You know, I thought that I would dive in, do a little bit of a Let's Play for the new Modern Warfare Alpha. Hope you're doing well. See, that was such a good match, though. That was the thing, is that it's a good match. But yeah, man, we're just hanging out, having a good time, playing a little bit of the Call of Duty, you know, getting back into the way it used to be back in the day. And I really like it that way, you know what I'm saying? I really do enjoy it because, again, I have roots in Call of Duty. Call of Duty is where I originated from. It is my hometown. It is my home team. I will forever have some kind of love for Call of Duty, without a doubt. Just because of the way that I am and the way that things tend to go. I just love the game. I'll never be able to get over it. Although I will skip games from time to time if they are, you know, loathsome and horrible. So you got to take it for what it is. You know, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Because each game is different. Each game can be good, each game can be bad. With Black Ops 4, not that good of a game. Not a bad game, just a different game. Didn't have to wonder long. Hey, you never know. And plus, you know, oh God, he's up top. One thing I will say about the streams on YouTube that I'm thinking about doing, the problem with me and Twitch is that, and Mixer and Facebook, you know the inside joke, is that I'm not consistent with my stuff, and it's hard for me to just kind of like go live and have that flowy nature that many people on Twitch have. And so I feel like with YouTube, it's very much more so regimented, and it's kind of more set in stone, you know what I mean? And I like that routine, and that's why I've been able to keep going with YouTube for so long, is because I like the daily, I like the schedule. And I think that might be something that we do from time to time going forward. Let's get it, baby. Time to time going forward is that I'll just do a Let's Play, or I'll do some kind of maybe weekly stream or something to hang out with people. I think it'd be a really cool way to kind of, you know, change up the YouTube flow and try new things. Now, for viewers that are interested in gameplay, this is a really, really badass gun. And I mean really badass. Oh, shit. My dude, what happened? I'm the lost man. Not like this. Yeah, there he is. Oh, God. Woo! Hello. God, man, what? Shit. I got one, though. Naturally flowy? I don't know about that one, Chief. No, that's the thing with me, is that I really love having a schedule. Like, I really enjoy having that, you know, reinforcement. That's why I've always loved YouTube so much. You know you want to. Shit. Never mind. He wanted it more than I did. Naturally flowy. What a phrase that one is. That's always just been a quirk with my personality. Also, on the next stream, we will enable low latency streaming, which is something we can do on YouTube, because I hate having this amount of lag between me saying something and you reading it and responding. Woo! That shotgun got some damage and some range. But yeah, I've always loved YouTube because it just kind of exists in a bubble, you know what I mean? And the stuff has a long lifespan on it, where it's just like people can go back and check out my first reactions, my first gameplay of the new Call of Duty years down the road. With Twitch, it's kind of like once you're done streaming, it all just goes away. And not that that's a bad thing, as we can see by all the Twitch drama going on. I'm sure a lot of people would want it to go away. But that's just not really for me. I like having my content. I like having my repertoire, if you will. Woo! I missed him by a long shot. Also, I've got this little thing right here on the side of my my right earbud. And so once my mic finishes charging, I can plug that into the PS4 and actually talk to people, so that'll be nice. I got that indigestion from the Dr. Thunder. But I hope your day is going well, man. Thank you for tuning into the stream. Thank you for checking out some gameplay. I've been really enjoying the game. I said it towards the beginning of the stream, but I actually had to reconfigure my entire PlayStation 4 network settings just to be able to play this without lag. What drama? You know, the bathroom stuff with Doc, and then the Alinity throwing a cat and all of that stuff. You know, it's one of those things where there's so much that happens on stream. I'm sure they want it to go away, you know?
Give them a proper English welcome.
I know I sure would. Just imagine yeeting a cat. Oh God! Just imagine yeeting a cat off your desk. Just like what on earth possessed you? Oh, yeah, he's up top. Dang. See, it's gonna be really nice to be able to tune in and kind of like, you know, confer with the people I'm playing with in 2v2. Because I had to dig out that mic. It was buried in the stuff that I moved with.
Give them a proper English welcome.
M91, let's get it, baby. Oh, shit. Not looking too good. Nice. Give me the other one, give me the other one. My dude. Oh, my dude. Where's my man at? Oh, okay. That was easy.
We've got them on the ropes. Don't let your guard down.
Don't yeet Sadie. No, Sadie's doing great. No, Sadie's doing fantastic. I was a little bit worried towards the beginning of the time that I had her because she had an upper respiratory infection. By the way, for viewers watching later, if you've made it this far, number one, cool. Number two, I got a cat. And so my cat's name is Sadie. She's 2 years old. I adopted her because I need companionship in my life, and I don't have time for a girl. I'm just kidding. I wanted a cat. And so whenever I got her, apparently she had an upper respiratory infection, and she had just come off medicine for that. And so she sneezed a lot whenever I first got her, which, again, I don't care. I just hope she was okay. And so whenever that started to calm down, I was like, cool. And then she wasn't eating that much. But then I Googled it. That seems normal for a cat that's going into a new place. So she started eating more. She's been drinking more. She's been really, really wanting me to lay down with her. Like, all the freaking time. She meows constantly, and she only stops whenever I lay down on the bed and she gets on my chest. That's like her place. That's where she likes to be. Which, don't get me wrong, totally down for that. I turned it to single fire. Why did I do that? But yeah, she loves just to hang out with me and just relax. Which is super cool because she's not like a high maintenance cat, you know what I mean? She just hangs out and just enjoys herself, which is great for me. And on top of that, she's not picky at all. It's great. Oh, that's funny. It moderated your chat. I mean, I'm just saying. Yeah, I went to work last night and I was telling somebody about my cat, and she was just like, "So you like to lay on your bed and play with your pussy?" And I'm like, "I'm pretty sure you just violated at least 3 HR rules right then and there within 2 minutes of each other." I'm just saying. Which, to be fair, probably did. But she's not wrong either. That's what I like doing. That is what I like doing. Now, this is my favorite map. This is literally a firing range that is built from the ground up for 2v2. Oh, and that's also something I should probably mention. All of these maps that they included with this specific weekend, these are all built from the ground up for Gunfight. So that's pretty neat. Hello? Oh, shit! Ah, he got the yeet. He got the yeeted grenade in my direction, man. Good for him. I can tell this is going to be one of those Call of Duty games that I go into and I go really hard on. So much so that I'm like, which frag grenade has the biggest blast radius, shit like that. Like, I'm going to be going in on it. I can feel it. Which I'm down for, don't get me wrong. I love that vibe. One of my favorite memories from Call of Duty in general, and this comes on the heels of me making a video for Amino talking about my favorite Call of Duty games of all time. But right before Modern Warfare 2 came out, which I think launched at the beginning of November in 2009, Game Informer released a special edition of their magazine that had pretty much a breakdown of all of the maps. They had the layouts that were going to be in the game. They had everything that you could ever imagine. All of the information you could ever want to know about this year's Call of Duty. And they... Oh, yeah, baby. And they included it all for you to kind of break down and get to know, you know. And so I studied that like a book. I studied that thing like a monk on a Bible. Like I went hard on the Modern Warfare 2 guide and Game Informer, and it helped. Like whenever the game came out, I was like, oh, sweet Afghan, I know where this special little hidden location is. Oh, God. Yeah, graphically, the game looks really good. I'm very impressed with it. I'm very impressed with it. Now, of course, this is going to be the least played mode, in my opinion, aside from Spec Ops. But this is going to be the least played mode because not too many people like Gunfight, just because it's not team deathmatch. And it's kind of similar to the sentiment that I said on the podcast. People play Call of Duty and they play Madden. That's like, some people play those back to back and that's their 2 games out of the year. And so for those specific, like, closed kind of people, the closed border people, if you will, they go in and they play, like, domination, kill confirmed, team deathmatch. That's, like, it. Maybe a little bit of search and destroy, depending on your preferences. But this is going to be kind of like the rarity, I think. However, I like what they've done with it. I think it's a really well done mode in the game. Ooh, look at the Deagle boy coming in hot. Look at the Deagle boy coming in hot. Oh, shit. I don't know about that one, Chief. You're going to have to aim a little bit. No, he just threw that thing so far away. What are you doing, man? You were so good with the Deagle, and then you just put it away. But for sure, now I will say I've touched up the graphics a bit in Elgato because whenever you, actually, a lot of people don't know about this. For those content creators out there, if you want your game to look a little bit better and you want the graphics to be a little bit more poppy, if you will, you can actually go in and change up the contrast, the brightness, etc., and make things really stand out. And so I've made the colors kind of pop a bit. But overall, I love the look of the game. It's a really, really impressive game. And I think the main thing as well is that you do have RTX getting support on the PC version of the game, which is going to make this thing look really good. I mean, even better than before. Oh, man, I should have shot. Yeah, RTX is going to change the game. And that's something I also can kind of riff on for a minute. Whenever we're talking about the next generation of consoles, it's always been, you know, pushing the fidelity of a game graphically to the next level. Like the PS4 is clearly times better than the PS3, just in terms of PlayStation stuff. And of course, the PS4 Pro iterates on what the PS4 kind of laid down. But it's getting to a point where it's like, yeah, this looks good. You know, you kind of get satisfied with the stuff you've already got. And so RTX is what proves to me, RTX is what proves to me that you can really push the game to the next level by not necessarily textures, but through lighting and through that kind of deeper immersion. Yeah, the gameplay is good. The gameplay is very, very tight. And I like that. The gameplay itself is very, very tight. It feels like Call of Duty Ghost. It's pretty much one of those things where instead of having the classic arcade shooting like you kind of expect from a Call of Duty game, this actually uses projectiles in the game. And so what this means is that whenever you have any kind of gun that you're shooting, regardless of what it is, basically instead of just shooting and going from point A to point B and then just lighting somebody up, there is actually a bullet that is shot. And so you kind of have to plan for that. You have to plan where your bullets are going to be going. You have to plan where the projectile actually ends up. And so that kind of changes the game a bit. But I like it because it becomes a bit more realistic. It becomes a bit more, I suppose, in line with what I would expect the gun to actually feel like when I fire it. And so I really enjoy it. Some people might not, but I really dig it. It definitely feels like a Call of Duty game, but also mixed in with maybe even a bit of a PUBG kind of feel to it because of the tactical feel of the guns. I don't know. It's a really cool game, all in all. I'm a really big fan of it. But Yeah, for sure, this is a day one buy for me because, again, there is no pre-order, or there is no, I read pre-order. There is no season pass, so you just get continual updates to the game that make the overall experience much, much better for those of us that don't want to drop $120 plus on a single gameplay experience. So that's always well and good. That is always well and good. But again, for anybody watching now or later that wants to dive in, the Open Alpha is going to be running from the 23rd now. Of course, tonight's the 22nd. It's running from the 23rd officially through the 25th. And I would go ahead and wager that you are going to be seeing an extension to that. So I would go ahead and pencil in the 26th if you are already calling out of work for multiple days in a row. I think you can pretty much bank on the idea that you are going to be seeing an extension towards the end of the Open Alpha period. But again, it's a free Open Alpha. You don't have to pre-order. You don't have to be a big fan of Call of Duty. You just dive in and give it a shot. And of course, this is times different. That's a weird way to say that. But this is very, very different as compared to Black Ops 4. It's just a very different game overall. It's got a different vibe, different kind of feel. Really interesting to see what Infinity Ward has done with this. And I think somebody will have to correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think Raven Software is also involved in the creation of the game. It seems like somebody else was also brought in. Now, what's going to be interesting is next year's Call of Duty, because that's where things get a little bit shaky. That's where things change up a bit, because you do have, you know, the drama with Treyarch taking over development. It should have been kicked back to another team, but instead we are looking at Black Ops 5 instead of whatever the next year's Call of Duty was going to be, which definitely changes up the overall flow. Give me the... Oh, yeah.
You're the last fight.
You're the last fighter on the battlefield. Oh, yeah, baby. Give me that. Give me that. Ah, baby, no.
One round means nothing. Prepare to fight.
But yeah, so all in all, I'm a big fan of it so far. I'm probably, you know, about an hour and a half maybe into some gameplay. I haven't played a ton. COD World War II Part 2. I would say this is way tighter than World War II. And I was a fan of World War II. What was that? It definitely wasn't bad. But no, I'm definitely a big fan of the new business model, where you don't have the season pass anymore. That's a big win for me in my book. That is a big win for me in my book. Oh, this is a good one. This is a fantastic piece of hardware here. What even is this? It's a fantastic piece of hardware when I can use it. Another interesting mechanic they've changed up a bit is the health regen, because the health regen is very different. You do not regenerate health nearly as fast as you do in previous Call of Duty games, and also there is no kind of stim pack situation like we saw with Black Ops 4, where you can kind of like heal yourself on the fly. It's kind of just a very blunt, if you get shot, you're shot for a hot second. You know, just in case you were curious as to what that was going to be like.
I'm taking fire.
Oh, I hear you. Oh, there he is. Right in the gut.
One round.
Right in the gut.
Not let them breathe.
And of course, they did a lot of interviews during Gamescom and also at E3, but one of the biggest elements of the game that has been changed and rebuilt from the ground up is audio. Audio is very different now. Oh, come on. Audio is much more directional.
Get ready.
The health bar of Black Ops 4, I feel like they're trending in a different direction with the various Call of Duty franchises, because they've all kind of been the same up until this point, where you do have specific, you know, differences between all of the games, but at the same time, something that's very similar between them all. And so, going forward, I think that what you're going to be seeing is Modern Warfare being Modern Warfare being the... Where did you come from? More realistic Call of Duty, and then I think you're going to be seeing Black Ops become the more arcadey kind of Call of Duty. And then, of course, you have the other franchises that come in and out from time to time, but or the sub-franchises. That's what I call them, as sub-franchises. But to be fair, I don't hate Black Ops 4. I truly don't. I think it's not a bad overall idea for a way to use the health in the game. I think the Black Ops 4 had a lot going for it. But I think that over monetization and, I suppose, lack of quality DLC didn't really help the game out in the long run. In fact, it kind of hurt it, as you would expect from shitty DLC. What?
All depends on
Oh, yeah.
Zero. Stay
That's what I like to see, baby.
Where's that came from?
Boom, boom, boom. You gotta get that boom, boom.
Show them what we do.
See, I hate this setup. The shotgun and the scope. Nah. Nah, not about it. Not about it.
You're all that is left. Finish it.
Oh, yeah. Where you at? Not like this. You went up instead of to the side. Modern Warfare gonna have microtransactions too. Not sure about that one. I would assume probably, but they've always just been skins, so it hasn't been too bad. But I think the point that I want to make is that I don't mind monetization through microtransactions, but there has to be some kind of give and take with the community. For instance, Fortnite, a free game, riddled with microtransactions. From V-Bucks to in-game skins, you got the whole kit and caboodle there. But the game is free. With Black Ops 4 specifically, yeah, you got a lot of game. I mean, you got a lot of modes. But between you buying a $60 game on top of a $60 DLC season pass, you... on top of that, also we're given the opportunity to buy microtransactions through skins, et cetera, et cetera. And so it's just like, oh God, ugh. You know, it's just, it was too much. And so now with the free season pass coming our way, the microtransactions probably won't bother me that much, but still it is worth considering and stuff like that. Don't want to go hunting with a shotgun? No, you know, not really that into it. Not really that into it. Man, I lost connection to the host out here. Out here, man. We out here. And of course, I don't know how much of this stuff is going to be monetized either. Like the clan tag and the calling cards. Like, am I going to be able to buy all of this stuff? This feels very, you know, monetizable, I guess is the best way to put it. Yeah, you know. I don't know how much they'll go into it, though, because Call of Duty's at a weird point. It's beginning to fade, you know, and of course, it's still going to be one of the best sellers of the year. And I would say, and I've said this before, Modern Warfare is going to be the best-selling Call of Duty game of all time, because you've got something new also combined with that name recognition. And whenever you bring those elements together, that really changes things in the long run. Oh, shit! Oh God, man, you just suck. All right, let's see what it'd do. Oh shit!
They're willing to die for their mission, so be it.
And also, the throwing knife is back. That's exciting. I do love a good throwing knife.
I'm taking fire. Show them what we do.
I do love a good throwing knife. Nice. All right, so he's up there. Oh. That's 2 hits. All right, my man. Let's get it, baby.
On to the next round.
But for sure, I'm looking forward to playing more of this, without a doubt.
Weapons ready. Move in.
Now this is a really cool gun, and I like the fact that you can change the fire rate of it because this gun absolutely melts when you put it in single fire. Especially at range. Oh. Well, that didn't last too long. Nice. Oh, yeah. The Tomahawk. Yeah, that's a Black Ops thing. That's a Black Ops thing. I'm a big fan of the Tomahawk. That's one of those things that I remember specifically from back in the day where you just rear back and chunk the Tommy. And you can just get all the way across the map. I remember one of the best moments in my entire Call of Duty, I guess, career is probably the incorrect way to put it. But on one of the DLC maps for Black Ops 1, you had this large, long golf map. It was like a golf course. And it was pretty, you know, a straight shot from one side of the map to the other one. It was a sniper's paradise. And whenever you were able to really get a good chunk in the right direction, you could really, really get some cool Tommy kills. And man, I got a couple of them myself. Oh, God, that was dirty. But I got a couple of good Tommy kills on that. That was right before I started doing YouTube, actually, because I wanted to share the cool gameplay. And so then it was Black Ops, and then Modern Warfare 3 came out. And that's when I started taking advantage of the theater mode. And so I'd make stuff with the theater mode and whatnot. All right, let's go. Ooh. You sure are, bud. Oh, come on, man.
Raise your weapon.
Yeah, it was Hazard. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it was. God, I love that map, man. And that's one thing about the old DLC. New DLC, you have pretty much a formulaic approach to DLC where there are a few old maps that are remade, and then you have the new maps that are bringing at least something marginally new to the table, and nothing too much else in between. And so with the old maps, it was just like, you might have seen, you know, some kind of like spiritual successor to a map or something like that, but there was never anything like the DLC that we got from Black Ops. I mean, really, that was like the pinnacle of DLC. And also, Modern Warfare 2 had some pretty good DLC as well. I will give a nod, a respectful nod. Damn, son, what you doing? Yep. Whoo! Whoo, it's getting spicy. Ho, let's go. Ho, ho. Ooh, we're getting really inflection-y. Yo, Dominique, love you too, man. Thank you so much for the comment. See, that was the first win of the day, and we're 4 rounds in. I like the competition. I like the challenge. It's a good way to approach the situation. But yeah, this game's really fun. My favorite Call of Duty forever will remain Black Ops 1. That will forever remain Black Ops 1. I love Black Ops 1. Ooh, look at all the love in the chat. I appreciate that. But yeah, Black Ops 1 just had something special about it where it was just, I think it was the time and the place. And I think that's what a lot of people don't realize about modern Call of Duty games is that they can be great games, but you might not like them just because of the fact that you aren't nostalgic for them. the older Call of Duty games, like Black Ops, like Modern Warfare 2, like Call of Duty 4, they represent a time in people's lives that isn't there anymore. You know, the early middle school days, the early high school days, whatever it might be. You just get something different from those games because they represented what was going on in your life. And that changes things, you know? And so now people are going to be nostalgic for Modern Warfare in 10 years or whatever. But yeah, Black Ops 1 is without a doubt the best Call of Duty to date. Oh, he's right there. Yeah, the best Call of Duty to date.
I'm taking fire.
And it's weird for me too, because I see people that are nostalgic for Black Ops 2, and I'm like, my dude, that one's pretty new. And then I think back, oh God, it's not new, you know, and you realize just how old you are and how fragile life can be. And so that's whenever you run into some issues here and there, you know, with your mentality. He's up top. Shit. Yeah. Oh, we got the throwing knife. Let's get a throwing knife killed. Chat, hold me. Oh, let's get it, baby. You gotta get that throwing knife kill. Feels good, man. Now, what am I doing there at the very end? Okay. Got that Molotov cocktail. I don't know what the damage is on the Molotov. The Tommy. No. No. Oh, okay, I was gonna say. Yeah, Black Ops 1's almost 10 years old. Can we talk about that for a moment? Here's my thing, okay? There are a lot of remasters. I mean, a lot of remasters, a lot of remakes, a lot of refinishings, whatever you want to call them. I mean, we've got Medieval coming out, for God's sake. But, man, let me tell you right now, I would probably be down for a Black Ops 1 remastered. I'm just saying. I would probably be there for it. With all the DLC and stuff. Nice. But yeah, Black Ops 1, I mean, I remember in social studies, it was a day we were talking about like Magellan and shit, you know, and like how Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue and all of that old, you know, stuff like that. Oh wait, there is a stem. That's cool. You can heal yourself. It's a tactical. And so while this was going on, I was talking to my friends about the launch of Black Ops, and we were going through like the maps. We were doing the thing I did with Modern Warfare 2, where like we were going through the map design, our routes we were going to run when we got home, all that nerdy shit. Like we were going into it. And that's exciting. You know, I like that kind of thing. I miss that camaraderie. I miss that. All right, I want to play with the stem. I want to see what goes on with the stem. So whenever I use the stem for... All right, so we got a couple more seconds. So that doesn't help me at all whenever I'm not injured. I didn't know if you could, like, overcharge.
I'm taking fire.
Knew it, baby. Yeah, that's so strange the Black Ops 1's almost 10 years old. I mean, thinking back, Modern Warfare 2 came out 10 years ago this year. And I've told this story before on videos and stuff that I've said, but whenever Modern Warfare 2 was coming out, I think, let's see, I don't even know, going into like freshman year, maybe in freshman year of high school, something like that, or maybe not. But what was that? Whenever that was coming up, I counted down every single day at lunch. I would literally sit there and be like 176 days until the game comes out. Whatever the amount was, I would count down day by day by day. People loathed me because nobody else cared. You know, like, of course, I sat with a whole bunch of people that play games. Like, we were all, you know, kids and whatnot. And so everybody played on Xbox. Everybody played their PlayStations, stuff like that. But, man, like, I was going into it. And so that was just such a build-up for me. That was just such an exciting time. And I'm kind of feeling that way for this game. Like, I'm not going into it the same kind of way because obviously I'm in a different time, a different place in life. Like, I'm not going to go into work every night and be like, hey guys, guess what? There are 86 days until Call of Duty Modern Warfare comes. Like, no, I'm not going to be that guy, but kind of want to be that guy. I don't judge that guy. Let's put it that way. I don't judge that guy. We'll put it like that because that's a pretty good time. But regardless, I am absolutely looking forward to this game. It's going to be a fantastic addition to the lineup. I actually traded in a ton of games just to get some store credit towards this so that I didn't have to necessarily buy it right out of pocket. I had so many games that were just saved on the shelf. Also, that is worth noting, GameStop's got a promotion going on right now where you can get an additional $5 for every game you trade that's above $2 in value. Non-sponsored, non-promotionalized. I'm just trying to get you some extra money in your pocket, which saved me some bucks and got me some store credit for the games coming out. I have no idea how many days. I know it comes out on October the 25th, so, you know, if you do 2 months, so probably somewhere around like 70-ish days. I don't really count down like that anymore.
Weapons ready. Move in.
You caught me. You caught me. I don't do that anymore. Yeah. That didn't do it. He got it, baby. Now let's see. Hey Siri. How many days until Modern Warfare comes out?
Weapons ready. Move in.
I hate Siri so much. It's not my question, Siri. It's not my question. Oh, he's up top. My boy. Look what they did to my boy. That's what I'm saying. When I get that mic plugged in and I actually start participating in the game, I don't want to be one of those guys that's super tactical, but I want to be able to at least compete. You know what I mean? Yo, Brian, what's going on, man? I'm enjoying it. I think that some people might not, depending on what they expect from a Call of Duty game, but I'm feeling the game is really tight. The game feels kind of like Call of Duty Ghost in a way, but nonetheless, very exciting times.
It is left to you. Get it done.
Oh, come on, man. 62 days? Walter says 62 days. We'll go with that. We will go with that. But yeah, Brian, I'm really digging the game so far. It's a pretty good Call of Duty so far. Of course, this is a different kind of game mode. This isn't your team deathmatch, so it's hard to say how things are going to be on the grand scale, you know, but I'm really enjoying what I'm getting from the game right now in terms of what I expected, because I expected something different going in, and so I suppose whenever you take that into consideration, maybe my mileage varies. Oh, shit. My man. Bogey coming in at 12 o'clock. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't want to be like, hey guys, we got a bogey coming in at 12 o'clock. I've got a guy with a tactical assault rifle coming in from the west, and then you can go ahead and flank him on the east. Yeah, Charlie, over out. Like, I don't want to be that guy. You know, we're all playing Call of Duty, dude. Like, you really think that I wanted to spend my day at work only to come in with my... Ooh. What is this gun? This is the M13, I think. Dang. What was that? Oh, dang. All right, all right.
They're hurting. Send them home.
But yeah, no, definitely worth checking out. And again, it's like I always say whenever I'm doing the podcast and I say that there's a free game available, it's literally a free alpha. Like, dive in, give it a shot if you've got the time over the weekend. You know, you can check it out, see if it's something you might be interested in. It's very cool that they're doing this randomly. Nice. Ooh. Does it play pretty similar to past CODs? The trailers make it look very different, though. It makes it looks more classic COD now. It's hard to really say. So here's the deal. It definitely is a Call of Duty game at heart, but it doesn't play like Modern Warfare. It doesn't play like that. And Roy was talking earlier about the Black Ops franchise and how it's going to be going forward. And for me, this one is much more gritty and realistic, but it still maintains that arcade DNA that makes a Call of Duty game a Call of Duty game. And I think that's a pretty good move overall. It definitely plays well, I will say that. And it definitely is a Call of Duty, but it's something we've never really seen before. But that's what I wanted, you know? And then I think that there was a, hold on. Don't hide from me. Yeah, the alpha is open now. I don't have special access. Now, this is completely and totally up to you to get right now. But I think that if I had to compare it to any game, it's definitely Call of Duty Ghost. But this is, again, a different game mode. It's a different kind of setup. But stuff like that, that's classic Call of Duty, you know? No, Walter, but I am honored that you thought that I had special access. That means a lot. No, I wish. But no. And another point that I want to make is that they're trying to do a lot with the game that is outside of the traditional realm of Call of Duty. Like you have a lot of, like a tactical lean on... You have a tactical lean now, which I'm not exactly sure how to use in the game. You have these stim packs that you can heal with, stuff like that. That changes up the way the game flows, and it changes up the DNA of Call of Duty. But I don't know that console players specifically are going to be using that kind of stuff. Because everybody is used to playing Call of Duty in a specific way, and I don't expect to lean in the game like I expect to lean in Rainbow Six Siege. No, whenever I'm saying Ghost, I mean the tightness of it. Like the shooting mechanics, stuff like that. Like, that's what I mean by Ghost. I feel like Ghost is underappreciated. I enjoyed Ghost. I also am one of the people that enjoyed the shooting in Infinite Warfare. I thought that there were a lot of cool elements in those games, although they might not have been the best games. There were still some cool elements within the games. And so I enjoyed Ghost. I thought the map design was interesting in Ghost. But this one, the health regeneration is much slower. The bullet damage is much higher. And so you definitely have a shorter time to kill. Some might say too short, especially if you are coming off of Black Ops 4, which had a very arcadey approach to it, where you even had health bars above the players' heads that showed how much, you know, health was going down, stuff like that. But, I mean, I think it's worth checking out for sure. It's a pretty cool game so far, and of course, there are 5 maps in the Open Alpha that's being held this weekend that you can dive in and give a shot that have all been built from the ground up for this 2v2 game mode. And each round, you get randomized weapons, so you can kind of get a feel for every gun in the game, or at least some of the, you know, selection of guns in the game. But it's a pretty cool way to kind of dive in and see if it's something you might be interested in the long run, you know. But at the moment, I'm definitely going to be getting this one on day one. But keep in mind, I'm an old school Call of Duty fan that's been sold since the announcement. So, you know. So basically, everyone has stopping power. Ultimately, yes. Ultimately, yes. And then also, Brian, I was telling Roy earlier, one element that changes the gameplay drastically is the fact that the guns in the game don't shoot from point A to point B. So, like, if you fire a gun, you can tell by the trailer right, or the gameplay right here, each shot you take is actually a legitimate projectile. And so you do have, you know, a lot of variation as to where the weapon is going, and it's not going to be that, like I said, point A to point B experience you might get from a classic Call of Duty game where it was just from the barrel of the gun, or even often from the shoulder or from the eyes. to the, oh shit, to the place you were shooting at. Yeah, no, definitely dive in, give it a shot again, free. You know, open alpha. It's a very exciting time to be a fan of the Call of Duties. I think this is the earliest I've ever gotten access to one of the new Call of Duty games. It feels like traditionally it's always been a bit longer. Where's that coming from? Oh, right. Nice.
That's it, lads. On to the next round. Get ready.
And also on top of that, I was saying this specific game mode, the competitive scene in Call of Duty is going to be thriving around gunfight, and I think that it could definitely come into its own around gunfight. Because you can only do so much with domination and team deathmatch, and so to have a dedicated mode that is built for... Oh, come on. That is built for competitive play, I think definitely adds a lot of value to the competitive scene of Call of Duty, which has been always fun to watch for me. It's kind of like Fortnite in that regard, where I like the competitive scene because it's so easy to keep up with and easy to understand that anybody can dive in and give it a look. But there are complexities, like the stim pack that I use, where you can heal. That changes up the potential of the game. That changes up the potential of the player to make a difference in the game. And so that's definitely going to be an exciting time for those that are looking to try something new, maybe get into the competitive Call of Duty scene. Call of Duty's modern reboot. That's basically exactly what they should have called it. Shockingly accurate on that one. Shockingly accurate. Oh, you get yeeted into the air and then boom, boom, baby. And also the lighting, the audio, all of that's been redone. It's very different. I like it a lot. What kind of gun is this? Does it have a slug in it? Ugh. Ah. A lot of 2v2 and 3v3 on Modern Warfare 3 back in the day? Yes. Yeah, no, I used to have friends that would play. Whenever Modern Warfare 3 came out, that was the game that I went the hardest on. I played that game religiously the summer after it came out. And so, you know, whenever you've got that kind of memory in the community, come on. I like this gun. Whenever you've got that kind of memory in the community, that's something that you have to kind of riff on. And so to bring back 2v2s, I wouldn't be shocked to see them bring back 3v3s and 1v1s in Gunfight later on. But that was some of the best times because you could really go head to head and see who was the better player, you know, and have that competitive nature to the game that wasn't necessarily there inherently whenever you're just playing team deathmatch, domination, search and destroy, kill confirmed, stuff like that. Dang. Pretty even match here. Pretty even match. I just find it very interesting that they've really thought out how to market this game. By all means, the first gameplay we normally see is some kind of staple, you know, like a domination, like I said, like a team deathmatch, something like that. But not this time, you know? They're really changing the game up, and I think that's a pretty good move. Let's go, baby. Yeah, I used to do the exact same thing. Tons of 2v2, tons of 3v3. I feel like you can always tell whenever the game is beginning to go downhill because inevitably this game will go downhill. That's just how it is. And that's whenever the developers start kind of messing around, where you have stuff like prop hunt added to the game. You have stuff like infected added to the game. That's whenever you start to see the game begin to fade down a little bit, you know? Oh, get it, baby. Come on. Come on. We were so close. What are you doing, my dude? He's got 1 health. Go in on him. Go in on him. Go in on him. Oh, shit. What are you... Yes!
That gave him something to think about. Good work.
That's what I like to see. That is what I like to see. And of course, with the 2v2s, the match time is incredibly low. The match time is incredibly, I suppose, palatable in a way. It's pretty easy. Campers ruin everything. I don't know that they do, man. I think that campers can be an incredible new skew to the gameplay that you don't really expect. They can throw off a lot of professional players and force them to go out of their comfort zones and try something new, which I think is really, really cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that changes things up a bit, you know. I think that could be a big, big change, a big shift for a lot of people. But yo, guys, again, like I said, quick streams, try new things. We are going to be doing more of these in the future, I think, because it was a very good time. And of course, I did want to dive into some gameplay before I began to prepare myself for work tonight. But for those that are hanging out in the chat, I would highly recommend, if you have the opportunity, dive in, check out the Open Alpha for Modern Warfare. Again, the 2v2 gunfight mode is what is being shown off right now this weekend. If you do want to give it a look, give it a try. And I do think we're going to be doing more of these in the future. I don't know how often they will be, but I enjoy getting a good live stream in from time to time, but I don't have the regular basis that you need to kind of promote something on Twitch. So I think that to kind of intermingle between the Jam Pack Report, the drop, and then some kind of stream, maybe Saturday nights, maybe Saturday mornings, whenever I'm off work, who knows what could happen. But it's going to be a good time. Regardless, you guys have a fantastic rest of your night. I hope you enjoyed the stream, and I will talk to you soon. But peace.